What's going on? What's going on YouTube? It is your boy 2Pro Gaming or Joe here with another video. And this one is going to be a top 10. And it's going to be my top 10 horror games in my opinion. Now, just for heads up, I don't have PC, so I can't go out and play these, I don't want to say huge title horror games because there are some for Xbox. But, I'm limited to, Xbox horror games and the fact that, horror games are my favorite games, but until I get a PC, I'm limited to playing some games that are horror on Xbox till then. But thank God they've been coming out to Xbox lately. But, yeah, this is just going to be my top 10 personal list. And we're going to start this number 10 spot out with Resident Evil Revelations, the sub-series to Resident Evil. It's the story of, I think it's Isaac, then there's Chris, Jill, and Jess, and all of them, and throughout the Resident Evil franchise. Then, there's Claire in part 2, trying to, escape and find out who did everything to him. But, yeah, that's going to be my number 10 spot because, I just love the creepy atmosphere of the first one being stranded on a boat and you don't know who did it to you until you realize it was the main enemy, which I think was Hydra or something. He was some guy in a gas mask. And then part 2 just took, threw you right in right away, really. Your first mission, you're instantly in a prison. Don't know what happened to you because you just got gassed in a party. And then, after that, you just ended up in a random jail cell with a bracelet on. Oh, my God. With a bracelet on. And you don't know what happened to you. And you have to find your way out. And that ain't the whole game. There's some more missions. But, yeah, that's that. And for my number 9 spot, I am having to go with the game Wick. Now, if you don't know about Wick, it is a small game, but it is a worth playing one. It is pretty creepy with the jump scares, which mainly it relies on to get you, because honestly, let's just admit it. It's just, being placed in the woods is pretty creepy at night. And you have to survive from 12 p.m. to 6 a.m., which is a FNAF copy if you ask me, but unlike that, you have to find candles and run around, covering them like this. You have to have matches to light your candles. All while, trying to survive for 6 to 7 hours in the middle of the woods at night. Getting chased by little kids who were said to be found dead in the woods. But, yeah, that's a creepy, pretty setting if you ask me. There's a bridged area. There's some different areas that you have to travel through. But, oh, no, it's pretty creepy. But number 8, I think it's a big series that I can think of, but it ain't gonna be high up on my list. But number 8 is gonna be Dead Space with Isaac. Now, I love Isaac. Isaac is a god. He's a badass in the series. But if you ask me, it just ain't scary. When I first heard of Dead Space when it came out, it sounded hella scary. So, I played it, and I was like, yo, this is actually pretty good. The story's good and shit. But, then after that, shit went downhill, and I was like, yo, this ain't even scary. I don't know if it was scary to anybody else, but it was not scary to me. I just kind of found it repetitive with the same monsters and shit. The only creepy scene was when the baby, I think it's the same game, when you walk past and the baby explodes by the dad. That was pretty creepy if that was from even the same game. But number 7 is going to be Emily Wants to Play 2. Now, I love the opening sequence to this game where you're a dude who threw a party and is at his house and, shit went downhill. The house is completely trashed. And, you're walking around and, you're like, yo, nothing bad happened until you realize you have to go upstairs, go in your bed, take a nap. And then you wake up and, you have to go take a shower because the alarm wakes you, goddammit. And you go and take a shower in some green-ass water, turning into a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or some shit. But anyways, the water's green, you get out, you're wondering why shit's gone the way it has, scary shit. The whole opening sequence to that game was, one of the best opening sequences to a horror game that I personally like. But, number 6 is going to be followed by its successor and the first game, Emily Wants to Play. It's part 2 is number 7, number 6 has to be the first one. Now, number 6 is Emily Wants to Play, which is, in my case, better than the second one. And the fact that, like, after part 2, the opening sequence, the game's not that good. You're just playing hide-and-go-seek with dolls, doing different challenges. And number 1, it keeps a bit straightforward. Survive from, like, I think it's 12 to 6, like Wick. But you're like a pizza guy that goes into or deliver the last pizza on your route before you can leave. And the door closes on you and, well, you got trapped in the house. Now, like, you walk in, I don't know how the fucking door locked itself, but I don't care. The game was scary. It was pretty scary. Especially when Chester starts chasing you or some shit. Or when the first time you fall into the little crack in the downstairs and Emily jump scares you. That shit's pretty scary. Or especially the clown, he's pretty creepy in himself. I think his name's, I know them all. There's Chester, Emily. I forget. Wow, see, this is how long it's been since I've even played these games. But number 5 is where the list gets pretty good for the rest of this list, I'm guessing. And number 5, about to say 6. Number 5 is going to be Resident Evil 4. One of my personal favorite horror games of all time. But compared to the scariness of it, I really couldn't rank it as number 1. But keep in mind, Resident Evil 4 is personally one of my favorite horror games of all time. I loved the fact that Leon had to go and save the president's daughter from the group, the cult, or the fucking big cheese dude. He was pretty cool. And the chainsaw guy with the bag over his head, he was pretty fucking dope. And my favorite battle through that whole game was the fish fight, where you had to fight the big creature in the lake. That was pretty badass. Like, there's so much I can say about Resident Evil 4 that I can make it into its own video because it is such a great game in my perhaps. And, you know, I might start live streaming that on Twitch. If you want to follow my Twitch, it's Joe Kills Zombies Daily because I play COD Zombies on it. But, you know, I'll probably start streaming some Resident Evil 4 if y'all want to watch me play one of my favorite horror games of all time. And, you know, we're just going to move on because I'm not going to stay on Resident Evil 4 all day because I could. Number 4, Outlast. The first one. I can't say enough. Mount Massive. That asylum, literally the first day I played it, I could not sleep for that night because, like, I was wanting to beat the game so bad. It was very scary in some parts, and then in some parts you can kind of predict. Until it got to the end where, you know, Billy the Ghost, it just started kind of running out of ideas, I suppose. And then, you know, Miles gets shot up at the end. Spoiler alert for this part. I just want to say, like, you know, you're sitting there and, like, then it's really scary in some parts. Like, the part where you have to go down into the, like, I think it's the fucking basement. You have to go into the basement and turn on the generators. The boat generators to escape while all you have to see down there, if you don't have your camcorder on, it's completely pitch black. So you have to have your camcorder on with the night vision to see anything. That was a pretty lit idea. I love the camera idea for this game. Like, it makes it all the more realistic with the journalism and shit. Like, that is so dope. Like, I can't even think of anything that's more sick for a game that you have to be a journalist besides a camcorder. But we're going to move on to number 3. To arguably one of the best horror games of all time. The Slenderman. And not just the 8 pages. We're talking about The Arrival. The campaign-based Slender game. The DLC in that game was pretty lit. Like, I can't say DLC because they added 2 levels. They added the beach level and then they added the farm. Bruh, those 2 levels in itself, the farm literally scared the living shit out of me when you had to go down to find the gas for the generator and the lights were flickering on, the hallways were like this tight just for your body to fit through. And there was that woman chasing you. Bro, that literally scared the shit out of me. I can't even lie. That was one of my favorite games of all time, and I still have it on my Xbox, and I occasionally play it to beat it still because it is so great. Even though I know how to do it with my eyes closed at this point. But the game is one of the best horror games to me of all time, and I still continue to play it. It's just how good it is. And if you haven't played it, The atmosphere is creepy as fuck. It's dark. You only have a flashlight, and the fucking level where you have to turn on all the generators to escape. I think it's literally that level right there is one of the most tense levels because Slenderman and Kate are chasing you across the little garage mines. I think, yeah, it's a mines. Oh, bro, that Coleman mine level was fucking scary to me. But we're going to move on to number 2, which is kind of funny because it's Outlast 2. The Run, Hide, or Die. Same to the first, but way better executed than the second. Where, like, you were Logan. I think his name is Logan. I'm almost 100% sure it was Logan. No, not Logan. It was Blake. Blake Langerman. What can I not say about this game that I love so much? I love the story. I love the bosses that chase you. Like the woman with the big, I think it's the big staff. The big dude, or that, like, literally killed the man's wife. Or when you're walking by and the dude's chained up to a big wooden wheel and rips apart. That part was fucking sick too. Or when your wife's giving birth to your baby and, like, she ends up dying giving birth to him. Like, it is such a sad story. And the flashback levels. Let me get started on those. You have these occasional flashback levels that tell you a story of you when you were younger trying to talk to this girl. I think her name was Jess too. You were talking to a girl named Jess and, you know, you're in, like, what appears to be a Catholic school. Because, like, everything was, like, religious in that game at some point. The game is just a religious horror game, which was fucking lit and went way beyond what the first one did. The first one, creepy. The fucking second one, out to scare the living shit out of you if it can. I mean, it got me a couple times, but it was way better than the first one. But finally, we're going to go on to the number 1 spot, to my all-time personal favorite for this list, because we all said Resident Evil 4 is my favorite horror game, which it is. But number 1 is a game I've been grinding recently, and the reason the second one hasn't been added is because I just got the first one, which I pre-ordered but never ever played it till like a month ago. And that is going to be The Evil Within. The story of Sebastian Castellanos going through hell. Bro, Kidman, Joseph, bro, those people, those poor people just, I don't even know where to go. I'm on like chapter 12, or I think it's 12. And I still have 3 more before I can even start the second one, which I gotta grind to beat those 3. But I kind of ran out of ammo in a part, and now, you know, I'm sitting there having to throw bottles and, like, hope to God I can kill some people with a mine or bomb. But it is one of the most like horror games I have ever played. And if I can rate it number 2 behind Resident Evil 4, I will, if not number 1. Because this game is literally so addicting. I've been playing it for 8 hours altogether, which has been throughout a month with the little time I have since I've been working. Which is why I haven't been making videos that much, is because I've been working, or I'd be uploading every 1 to 2 days. But I just want to say The Evil Within is easily one of my favorite games of all time. Not just horror, of all time. And I can't wait to beat it and play the second one to see if it really did better than the first one, because I feel and heard that it has, but I can't wait to see it. I just want to thank y'all so much for watching this long video, and especially if you made it this far, like with this dumbass talk, and I love y'all. And I will say peace out until next time, which will be 1 to 2 days, which I'll probably do a story time next time. Love y'all. Peace out, brothers.